So hi guys, my name is Jordan Wright. I'm one of the personal trainers here at Movati Athletic. So I'm going to go over with you guys today about German body composition training. So this will help you with your weight loss goals, specifically in weight training. So some of the basics to this is we're going to be using weight training specifically for weight loss. So you guys see I have a program set up right here in front of me. This is a sample day one, right? And then I'll post online for you guys the day one and the day two of the program. So we're going to go over some of the basics of some of the elements you need to know for the program. So very specifically, as you can see here, we have a goblet squat weight at the top. We're going to use big body weight exercises first and foremost before we get to the small ones, because we have the small ones here at the end. You can see a tricep extension. And don't worry if you can't see it too well right now. We're going to post this online so you guys can capture it really well. So the main thing I want you guys to think of is movements that you guys can perform very effectively. So if you've done some of these with your coach so far, that's great, but if you need some help, please ask one of your personal trainers that you're working with, or if you see a personal trainer actually available for you, please ask them if you're unsure about how to do some of the movements. So we can kind of see some of the rep sequences here. We have 12 to 15 for the goblet squats. So we want the repetitions to be relatively high because the weight's going to be relatively light at this point in time. Then we can see we have the sets. We have the set range is going to be anywhere between 2 to 3 sets or 3 to 4 sets. Then we have a tempo. We're going to be about medium tempo. So we're not going to be too fast when we go to do the squats. We're going to be about a little bit in the medium range. And then we have a rep sequence. So the important thing is we want high repetitions usually at the beginning. So we start warming the body up. We're using the bigger muscle groups. We want to make sure that we're going to train those very effectively well. These are also the best bang for the buck exercises. So that makes the most sense to get most of your reps there. Then we have the 3 to 4 sets. If you can't complete all 3 sets, that's perfectly fine. You can reduce it down to 2 sets. Then we have the tempo, it's nice and even, and then we have the rest. So the rest you can kind of change from set to set depending on how much rest and recovery you need. You can see here we have A1 and then A2. So you can see A1 we have the goblet, and then we're going to go to lat pull down right afterwards. So if I did my goblet squat first, I would then rest between 45 seconds to 60 seconds, or you can time it out with your coach, and then I would move on to the lat pull down. So I would change the exercise, I would move on to lat pull down from here, and then I would continue on with the reps. So I would complete this for about 3 sets, so I would complete it 3 times first, and then I would move on to the actual B sequence. So you complete your A sequence first, and then you're going to go on to the B series next. So you can see in the B series we've kind of changed up some of the exercises. We've got a prone hamstring curl, and we have our bench press with the dumbbells. So you can see I've changed some of your reps around a little bit. We're doing 10 to 12 for the prone hamstring curl. Again, it's at a medium tempo. Again, we're going to be doing 3 to 4 sets, and the rest sequence is kind of the same. You're going to choose depending on how much recovery you really need. Now, in the beginning, you may need more recovery for these because these are bigger muscle groups that you're working right now, so you may need to take the full 60 seconds. But realistically, you don't ever want to exceed 60 seconds unless we absolutely have to. As you improve throughout the weeks as you do the program, you can reduce this rest sequence down to as low as 45 seconds, sometimes as low as 30 seconds, depending on how well you actually get conditioned with the program. But again, you're going to complete the entire B series first, so anywhere between 3 to 4 sets of the hamstring curls, and then an actual bench press before you move on to the C series. So as we move and we progress on to the C series, we have the front step up. We're going to do higher repetitions, but we're going to go a little bit faster with the C series. And we're only going to do a maximum anywhere between 2 to 3 sets themselves. We don't want to too heavy at this point. We've worked really hard at the beginning. We're kind of going into the second phase right now. We don't want to work as hard, but we still want to keep the heart rates up. So you can see I have a fast step sequence. And this one we're specifically only going to rest about 30 seconds. Okay? Then we're going to go on to the C2 series, and that's the semi-squat cable row. So we're going to set up on it for another row position. Again, only 10 to 12 repetitions, only about 3 sets. Medium tempo, we're going to rest for about 30 seconds. Once you completed all 3 sets, then you move on to the last series. And you can see here in the last series, we have basically worked the smallest muscle groups at the very end. We're only doing a seated dumbbell curl and a tricep press down, right? At this point in time, we're going to only keep between 10 to 12 in the rep sequence, and then we're going to go into 3 sets. Again, we're at about a medium tempo and about 30 seconds. Once you completed the entire series, you completed it, you rest, and then that's basically it for the day. So the big benefits to using something like the German body composition program is you're trying to create basically a home run response. What we want to do is we want to increase your lactate threshold as we go throughout the training. So as you can see, we use the big muscle groups first. We're going to build up some lactate. We're going to continue to kind of build that up. But as we kind of progress through, we're going to get a little more fatigue. So that's why we're moving down to the smaller muscle groups. So this is a very good, solid basic program for any new trainee as long as they feel they can perform the movements. If you're unsure about how to perform some of those movements, that's perfectly fine. Please ask your trainer, or be sure to ask one of the personal trainers if you're unsure to see it and you're just cruising this through Facebook. Come see us, you can come see me at the front desk, or just ask them to let you know how to do it. That's it. Thanks very much for your time. I hope this was a good education for you, and we'll see you again soon.